hello. I am the beautiful Carolyn Mitchell. I am the founder and formulator of the Natural Way 365 product line and the Natural Way 365 Farms. I am a formulator. I am a farmer. I am a herbalist. I am a holistic consultant, just to name a few things that I do. I'm all things entrepreneur. I wear many hats, but I definitely advocate for sustainability and farming and being healthy and putting good things in our body and knowing where it comes from. So that is a little bit about me and what I do.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, how did you even get into this industry? Give us a little behind the scenes on how did this even come about? How did you get into sustainability? How did you get into owning your own farm and just being natural?
I mean, this journey started many years ago out of a necessity. Um, Back when I was pregnant with Gesturon, a little bit before then, I could not afford like hair care products that were on the line and different hair care products that was on the market. And I had to find some type of solution because my daughters have really long, thick hair. So I started creating hair products and I was just making it for my girls. And then it turned from my girls to my family, and everybody's hair is growing wild and long and thick and luscious. And my husband kept saying, you got to bottle up that hair crack. And eventually that's what we did in 2017. And the Natural Way 365 product line was born. And then shortly throughout that journey, I started to become more aware and concerned of not only what was going on my body, but what was going in my body. So that led me to dive in deeper into different health options. I was overweight at this time. Back in 2017, 2018, I was like almost 200 pounds.
What?
And I was diagnosed with cervical degenerative disc disease, and that took me through a whirlwind of being on bed rest and in and out the hospitals and learning about different medicines. So I was trying to get off of the medicines, the opioids, and everything that just had me bedridden, and started to figure out another way to just treat my pain. And that's why I came across cannabis and CBD and making edibles and tinctures. And that led to me going on a vegan journey and losing weight and being extra cautious of what I was putting into my body, which led me to farming. And once I went to this one farm event, I fell in love with farming, and it was just like felt like something that I've always done, and it was just second nature, and it felt like home for me. So I worked under this farmer. His name was Holmes, and he did a lot of community events, and I worked under him for like 5 years, just learning all about farming. And then he went out and did van life, and I ended up getting my own farming track number, and I've had that now for about 3 years, and just learning more and more about farming and different farm techniques and finding my own style of farming, and that's permaculture. So yeah.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, what would you say is like the biggest misconception when it comes to, just farming and being a black farmer, as well? What's the biggest misconceptions that you've heard so far?
um, One conception is you don't need 100 acres to farm. You don't need acres on acres and acres to farm. You can really grow a lot in a small space. And that's how I started out, growing in very small spaces, doing more so like urban farming. When I had my shop in Riverdale, before I was growing on what is the farm now, I only had just those front two little patches to grow on, and I grew out on those patches till the city complained about too much growing right there. And I got blessed with that property next door to grow there. And that's one big misconception is like you don't have to have acres or acres to start farming. You can do it right in your doors. You can do it on your kitchen counter. You can grow you some microgreens on your shelf. So you don't need a lot of space to get going and get growing. You just gotta start.
Hey, most definitely got to get started. Got to start somewhere. It's the first step. So it's February. This month we've really been focusing on module two, which is market research and idea validation. Can you share a surprising insight you discovered doing your market research and that really just shaped your business idea?
One thing that has really stuck out to me, I'm gonna say revamping my market research maybe over the past year is that a lot of my clients are between the age of 40 and 60. A lot of my market research also show me that a lot of my clients were male. And a lot of them, my research also showed me that in that age group, there's a lack of energy. And people are trying to get in shape in that age range. So it helped me really kind of cater and hone in on different type of marketing as far as who I'm marketing to and when I'm doing like my marketing ads, how am I filtering out who's going to see this ad and so I can get the response that I'm trying to get. And it also helps me to even create more products for that different type of age group because I have more supplements available now for that, really for all who needs it, but mainly for that age bracket between 40 and 60. People are finding out that they're pre-diabetic or diabetic. So I have supplements for that, or they're low in energy and they're looking for more energy. So I have supplements for that. So it helps me create more products for my target audience.
Most definitely, most definitely. So when it comes to your business plan and your strategy, what do you feel like is a key element in your plan that really sets you apart from the competition?
Um, Being a product of the product, mostly like knowing what my product is and knowing how to use it, and also my story. Like I've had so many different trials and tribulations and so many testimonies that I've been through personally, that is the element that sets me apart from other businesses because no one's story is going to be like my story. So my story is really what sets me apart and it's my story that helps me sell my products.
Most definitely. I tell people all the time, I think that's, really one of the biggest elements, really having a story and learning different ways to showcase that story. Because, like you said, everybody's story is different and unique. And I think, the time that we're in now is it's all about organic content now. And, it's all about, people falling in love, not just with the product, but with the person behind the brand. And
Right,
it's one of the reasons why we really dove so deep into interviewing different people in the industry because I think people needs to hear these different stories, especially the trials and tribulations. I think most people think it's just be all cool and just especially with the internet. Don't nobody really want to show their show them tough times, and I think
right,
the people that is vulnerable enough to be able to show all sides of it. I've seen, I think they're a little bit more successful in really growing that audience and growing a fan base. So I think that's super dope. I think us just doing things like this is super needed because people they hear the brand but they don't really think about the story behind it, and the people behind it. So yeah, so
right.
real quick, I want to talk about financial literacy and budgeting. How did you approach budgeting for your business, and what strategies did you use to ensure financial stability?
Right now, I'm just now getting control of the whole budgeted thing and really trying to put like, okay, this money is coming from this account and it's for business and this is personal and this is this. So I'm really like just now honing in on I guess you can say the back end office work of the business. So I try to use like a Google Doc or like a Google spreadsheet where I can separate things now and have things categorized. So when it's time for me to say, okay, I'm going to use this 500 right here for marketing this month, and I want to get 60 sales a day so I can get this much at the end of the week and just really, really breaking it down like that.
Most definitely. I think that's a, I think, tracking your progress is super important. And really mapping out exactly what you're going to need is super important. Even if, if it's on a smaller scale, I think it's super important for us to do that. So real quick, I want to talk about sales and customer service. What's the most memorable customer interaction you've had, and how did it impact your approach to sales and service?
The most memorable. I have so many memorable moments when it comes to my clients because when you are helping someone, like when you are helping heal someone, the impact and the joy you get from that is it can be life changing because it's life changing for them. So I'm always super ecstatic when I'm helping all of my customers, but I'm going to say one was this was many, many years ago. Um, I met a lady and her ex-husband was going through some very serious skin issues with hydronitis where he couldn't hardly walk and sit down and couldn't hardly do anything. And this was one of my maybe first or second clients. This is my first time really diving deep into a disorder that I've never heard of. So I'm doing all of this research and I'm formulating this product for him. And when he used it and it worked, and like he was crying, she was crying, I was crying too. Like I was so like just floored of just the relief I was able to provide. And that was just such a memorable moment. And that moment just taught me to always like, no matter what, well, no matter what type of issue the client has or disorder, just to really take my time and just to dive all the way into it and research it and find the root cause of the issue to help better service my clients.
Most definitely, most definitely. I think that's a great tip for sure. I think, and that's beautiful when you're able to see, your product and your service actually change a life and help people. I think that's really the number one thing. That's why I always talk about and ask people, how is people benefiting from your products, your service, your brand? I think that's the number one thing to really think about. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of logistics that goes into, farming and cultivating natural products. Can you describe a significant operational challenge you faced and how you overcame to improve your business efficiency?
A operational challenge. One would be sometimes when I'm trying to find different herbs and I can't get a hold to them, and that helps me out even more so in farming because it pushes me to learn all the ins and out of that herb so I can just plant it and grow it and harvest it and process it myself. So that is something else that sets me apart because I even grow some of my own ingredients for my products, especially if it's something like that's hard for me to find out on the market. I definitely will grow it so I can always have it available. So that's a one thing I would say. Definitely growing my own ingredients, processing it, and utilizing it for the product.
Yeah, that's you. Hey, you can't overcome no way, no better way for real. If you can process and grow your own stuff, your own ingredients, hey, you going straight, you cutting the middleman out. I think that's super dope
Right.
for sure, for sure. So when it comes to like legal and ethical considerations, what legal or ethical dilemma have you encountered in your business journey, and what did you learn from it?
Um, One thing, and I still deal with this challenge from time to time, but when it comes to selling CBD products or hemp products and the different wording that you can use and can't use when you're selling a cannabis product. So that was, I guess, basically learning the terminology, learning the terminology for that field of selling and buying cannabis products for e-commerce. You have to have the verbiage correct, or they'll shut you down. You have to be able to submit, like certain documents. If you say you're selling a CBD product, they want to know, where did that CBD come from? What lot it came from? Do you have the COA, certificate of analysis, that has to go along attached with that product? And I remember I literally went through this last year. Square had my account frozen for almost 6 months. Couldn't any money that went into the account just stayed in the account. I couldn't get it out or anything until I went under this whole like little investigation that they did, until they said that I was certified to sell these cannabis products, and what was in my products is what I said was in my product. So I'm gonna say that that is always always an ongoing legal area when you're selling cannabis products.
Man, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. I think a lot of people, and I push this a lot, especially with our members, far as making sure that they just checking off all the boxes when it comes to legal and ethical practices, especially depending on what type of product that they serving.
Mhm.
That's super important to really know what's out here, because it's a lot of rules and regulations. The government got everything sold up tight, man. So we got to make sure that we on top of it, and hey, and mastering our business. I think
Yes,
that's what comes
that's
along with.
mastering your business, really.
Yeah, for sure. So, what advice would you give entrepreneurs seeking funding for the first time based on your entrepreneurial experiences?
Seeking funding for the first time, showcase to the funder that you are more about your business and it's not all about you, and that you are about the community that's surrounding your business. It's important to show community involvement, have it on your platforms, have it on your websites, have it visible where people are looking you up. They can see, okay, she's active in her community, she's doing this, she was at this drive, she brought her products here, she gave away this, she helped this person. So it's good to show even teachable skills. She taught them this, she showed them how to do this. Show that you are about community and that you are about networking and sharing your skills, not only trying to profit. You're sharing, you're giving, you're selling, and it's a full circle.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree. I've talked to a lot of different, financial investors, different things like that. And, one of the things that, that really stood out to me, especially, with one particular guy, he was telling me about, when he's looking to invest in certain products and projects, he want to know if you're coachable as well. You want to know if you're open to different suggestions and and change, because especially when it comes to bringing other entities in, I think you have to be open-minded when it comes to change and adapting, and and we all got to stay a student to the game, for the most part. So that's super important as well. um, so I've been talking about mindsets, a lot. I've been really diving into a lot of mindset books, audio books, and sharing them with you guys. How has your mindset evolved as a leader, and what practices do you incorporate to maintain a positive entrepreneurial spirit?
Um, definitely, definitely meditating. I meditate often. I have to have that moment of, it's kind of like it's really like a lifestyle daily routine. Like I have to, I have to get up, I have to meditate, I have to clear my mind. Like in this moment I'm not thinking of anything, I'm just letting my mind be clear, and I'm resting my mind, and I'm just meditating. Then I have to exercise, then I might listen to something motivational, and then I'm getting my day going. I'm taking my herbal supplements and my tea, and all of this is for me so I can be a service to my family, my community. Because if I'm not taking care of me, then uh, nothing's getting taken care of.
You
So that is something that is really important. I feel like entrepreneurs don't do, and some do, but they need to do more. Is spend a little more time on self, taking care of self, so you can take care of your business and take care of things in the community as well.
I totally agree. It's so crazy because I've been definitely meditating more lately, and I definitely see the difference and you know the just how it really just changed your whole mindset throughout that day. This is something that I've been definitely getting Chrissy more into as well. Just taking on, and I don't meditate for long. 10 minutes. Right now I'm at 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, just taking out that 10 minutes to meditate and pray, and speak my affirmations into the world. Because I think the
Yeah,
truth will. Yeah,
most
yeah.
definitely.
It's so crazy because I'm the type that used to think meditation was straight bullshit. Like, can't even lie. Like, I just thought it was just like some stuff that people just say. And my journey and going into different and reading different mindset books, it just kept popping up, kept popping up. So that was something I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it. Why not? What's
Right.
it gonna hurt?
It's definitely not gonna hurt, for sure. It's definitely not gonna hurt. And speaking those affirmations, those daily things you want, and those things you want to bring into fruition, like it's you want to speak it. You want to speak it out loud, because there's power in words, and there's power in the words you speak, because they carry vibrations, and you just want to definitely speak and manifest the things that you want for yourself and for your business.
Most definitely, most definitely. So real quick, and this is the last question I got for you. I wanted to talk about pitching and presentation skills because I come from of course a digital media background. Where presentation is everything. What's the most important lesson you've learned pitching your business effectively?
Um, s- Pitching my business effectively, definitely how your body language. Your body language is something that's very important when you're pitching, when you're speaking. Body language, because it says so much without saying so much. So definitely like your tone and your body language, I would definitely say that, and finding those key points that highlight you within those 30, 60 seconds.
I love it. I love it because I mean, I think this is something super important. Confidence is super important, especially when you're pitching, and your body language can definitely say a lot. And I think learning who you're pitching, to, and learning your audience is super important as well.
Hmm.
You gotta know who your audience is and how to, come at them. I think that's super important. So yeah, definitely, definitely. So real quick, let them know where they can find you at. Let them know how they can connect with you. Real quick, if you're still on the live, if you got any questions or concerns for CC, definitely drop them in the chat so we can, so we can kind of touch on those. But meanwhile, let them know where to find you at, CC.
You can find me on all social media platforms at the Natural Way 365, and that is on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube and Blogger. You can find me at the Natural Way 365 underscore on TikTok. And you can shop online at the naturalway365.com. And if you go ahead and shop today, I have a special for all of our mob members and affiliates and everybody on the line. You get 25% off with the promo code MOB, MOB. Also, you can follow me at the Natural Way 365 LLC Farms on Instagram and the Natural Way 365 Homestead on Instagram. So make sure y'all connect with me on all social media platforms. We have a fundraiser going on right now as well for the farm because we are expanding in Macon this year. So we have a fundraiser for that. That fundraiser is in my link in bio. Please check it out. Just scroll all the way down. It's at the bottom, says donate. Please make a donation. No donation is too big or too small. If you want to make a physical donation, you have some seeds, some plants, some trees, you can shoot me a DM and we can meet up. I will gladly pick those items up from you. And definitely turn on your post notifications because I have events coming up as well and volunteer days for the farm. So make sure you guys turn on your post notifications so you can see when I'm posting all of these events and volunteer days and community days for the farm. Let me shout out my daughter, Divine Aqua. She helps me out so much. My husband, my number one supporter, Adam, who's helping out with the farm. Follow him as well. The links are in his bios for donations as well. And shout out to the mob, mastering our business.